When scientists declare a species extinct, they are not confirming a death. They are confirming a silence long enough to assume the worst. But silence is not proof. In 2024, a frog unseen for decades was captured alive in Brazil, its DNA matching century-old museum specimens. It may be one of at least 10 unseen survivors whose extinctions were declared too soon, and the most fragile evidence is where this begins. On Laysan, a remote Hawaiian atoll, a tiny flightless bird faced a swift collapse. Introduced rabbits stripped the island's vegetation, and wartime rats destroyed nests, pushing the Laysan rail to official extinction by the 1940s. Decades later, a single photograph and a feather recovered from a nearby island suggested the species might have survived in a forgotten pocket. Yet, ornithologists remain highly skeptical. Look-alike species and sparse historical records make island sightings notoriously difficult to verify. In the dense forests of Indonesia, the Javan tiger met a similar fate, driven to extinction by logging, agricultural expansion, and intensive hunting. Officially declared extinct in 2019, the predator lives on through persistent local reports. That same year, searchers discovered large footprints in West Java, hinting at a remnant survivor. But in muddy, shifting terrain, tracks distort easily, making them indistinguishable from those of leopards. Without clear photographic or genetic proof, scientists view these tracks cautiously, recognizing how easily human hope can misinterpret a footprint in the mud. In the silt-choked waters of the Yangtze, the search for survivors moves from physical ground to the invisible world of sound waves. The baiji, China's graceful river dolphin, has gone unseen since 2002, forcing the IUCN to declare the species critically endangered and possibly extinct. Decades of heavy industrial shipping, dredging, and gill nets silenced the river. Yet, later acoustic surveys using underwater hydrophones captured faint whistles, briefly restarting the debate over their survival. But the Yangtze is a deafening environment, crowded with commercial sonar and the sounds of resident finless porpoises. Distinguishing a lone dolphin from background noise is nearly impossible. Some scientists heard a remnant population clinging to the tributaries, while others argued the signals were merely electronic interference. The river answered, but the static kept the truth hidden. In the vast, dry tropical savanna of Brazil's Cerrado, agricultural expansion stripped away the specialized streams and wetlands required by the Campo Grande tree frog, leading the IUCN to declare the species extinct in 2021. But 3 years later, a targeted expedition into a protected reserve challenged that final verdict. Field researchers first recorded unfamiliar mating calls echoing from a small wetland. Following the sound, they captured several living frogs. To confirm their identity, geneticists compared tissue samples with historic museum specimens, revealing a perfect DNA match. This combination of acoustic, physical, and genetic proof convinced a skeptical scientific community that the species survived. Yet this rediscovery raises a quiet, lingering question. If this tiny amphibian could persist in an overlooked pocket, how many other supposedly lost species are hiding just out of sight? On Christmas Island, a tiny nocturnal mammal vanished as phosphate mining stripped the forest floor and introduced black rats brought lethal parasites. Declared extinct in 2021, the Christmas Island shrew unexpectedly reappeared on a remote northern ridge. A camera trap captured a fleeting image of a small shrew, and subsequent genetic analysis of hair samples matched historic specimens, forcing a scientific reassessment. Yet, its persistence remains incredibly fragile. Further south, on the volcanic cliffs of Lord Howe Island, black rats from a 1918 shipwreck wiped out the island's unique giant stick insects. driving them to presumed extinction. 80 years later, a tiny colony of 24 individuals was discovered clinging to a single shrub on Ball's Pyramid, a sheer sea stack rising from the Pacific. DNA sequencing matched these living insects to 1920 museum specimens, confirming the rediscovery. Today, they survive, but their entire lineage hinges on one precarious, storm-swept rock. The International Union for Conservation of Nature declared the slender-billed curlew extinct in October 2025, following a 30-year absence from its vast migratory range. Decades of wetland drainage in the Mediterranean basin, combined with heavy hunting pressure along flyways, drove the shorebird to near total collapse. The last universally accepted photograph was taken in Morocco in 1995. But in early 2026, an experienced ornithologist reported a sighting in a remote wetland in the Levant, backed by low-resolution photography and satellite habitat analysis. The report divided the scientific community. Experts from the Search for Lost Birds initiative analyzed the image, debating whether it shows a genuine slender-billed curlew or a misidentified Eurasian curlew. This uncertainty leaves researchers in a tense deadlock, forced to weigh whether a lost species has returned or if the world is mistaking hope for proof. In the dry, spinifex shrublands of Australia, the night parrot was officially declared presumed extinct in 1991. Extensive land clearing and introduced predators like feral cats had seemingly silenced the species forever. Then, in 2013, naturalist John Young captured a brief video of a living parrot in Queensland. Acoustic surveys soon recorded its distinctive ket-ket call, and in 2015, biologist Steve Murphy captured, tagged, and photographed a live individual, securing the first undeniable proof in over a century. A 2017 trail camera image confirmed their continued nocturnal activity. Yet, this triumph triggered a sharp division among scientists and organizations like BirdLife Australia. While some argued for public disclosure to raise conservation funds, others insisted on absolute secrecy to protect the fragile birds from poachers and disturbances. To this day, the exact coordinates of these populations are kept strictly confidential. We now have definitive proof that the night parrot survived, but its true numbers, and the secret pockets of the desert where it might still be hiding, remain entirely unresolved. The thylacine has been officially classified as extinct by the IUCN since 1986. Decades earlier, human persecution drove this collapse. Between 1888 and 1909, the Tasmanian government paid out over 2,000 bounties, systematically decimating the predator. By the early 1930s, only a handful remained. The last captive male, named Benjamin, died of exposure at Hobart's Beaumaris Zoo on September 7, 1936, just 59 days after the state granted the species legal protection. Yet, this late safety net did not stop the search. For decades, trackers like Neil Waters have documented large footprints and reported sightings. In 2021, Waters released camera trap footage claiming to show a wild family, but zoologist Peter Mooney and museum custodians identified the animals as patamelons. While searchers argue the evidence warrants continued fieldwork, scientists maintain that the disagreement can only be resolved with stronger proof. Without a verified physical specimen or modern DNA, the mystery of the thylacine endures. In the swampy bottomland hardwood forests of the American South, massive logging operations systematically stripped away the mature trees required by the ivory-billed woodpecker, leading to its last universally accepted sighting in 1944. 60 years later, the search reignited in Arkansas's Cache River National Wildlife Refuge. Between 2004 and 2005, a team led by John Fitzpatrick and Tim Gallagher compiled a new chain of evidence. It included fleeting sightings, disputed recordings of double knocks and nasal Kent calls, and a controversial 4-second video captured by David Luno. While supporters declared these findings proof of survival, skeptical ornithologists countered that the grainy footage and audio could easily be explained by the common pileated woodpecker. The claim triggered a $15 million federal commitment to buy and protect local wetlands, demonstrating how even a contested sighting can mobilize major conservation efforts. Yet, the scientific community remains divided, leaving the ivory-bill in a tense gray area, a species that may have slipped from visibility without ever being fully proven gone. We cannot protect what we write off as history. While these species remain in the shadows, our uncertainty is their shield, but only if we keep looking. The search itself keeps their survival possible. Subscribe for more stories from the edge of extinction.